for sharing your precious time with me today. I really appreciate that. So I'm going to start with my little presentation, which is how to avoid gaining weight during the holidays. And cheers to a healthy and happy 2022. So most people here know me as an attorney, and my little background is I went to the University of Chicago. I got my JD from John Marshall Law School. I have a Master's of Law, and I'm licensed to practice in law in Florida, Illinois, Washington, D.C. And as a solo practitioner, I do real estate, probate, estates, trusts, and I also do now mediation and arbitration. But there's another Dina that most people don't know about that's been evolving in the past 23 years. I am a certified functional medicine nutrition coach. I've authored a book, published it recently. I've been studying on my own for 23 years about food and nutrition because it just fascinates me. And I like to blog, and I am committed to helping people become healthier and understanding the wisdom of their immune system and how food can be your medicine. So a little bit about today. We're going to talk about chapter 5 in my book. We're going to talk about tips on how to enjoy this holiday season without gaining weight, and how to set yourself up for reaching your weight goals for 2022. Also, something that most people aren't aware of is the role of toxicity and how it actually prevents you from losing weight. So, from the time of Halloween until Christmas, we tend to overindulge. And then we feel like these guys. Been there, done that. And then we step on the scale. And then we go, what happened? And then you say, oh, well, you know what? I'm already in it for the month of December. I'm just going to splurge. I'll worry about it. The diet starts January 2nd. So there's this vicious cycle of overeating, indigestion, fatigue, cravings, weight gain, overeating, indigestion, and on it goes. But what if I told you there might be a better way, where you can actually enjoy all these rich foods while you mitigate the damaging effects of the overeating and preventing weight gain? In fact, it can actually set you up for losing weight. Sound too good to be true? Mm-hmm. It's called intermittent fasting. And all it is a little cycle in your 24-hour period where you have a smaller window where you eat and a bigger window in your 24 hours where you don't eat. And it could be a combination of things. The ratio could be you go 18 hours without eating, or 16 hours, or 14 hours without eating, and the rest of the day you just restrict yourself and you don't eat. But during the time that you eat, you don't starve yourself. You eat until you're satiated, and you don't have to necessarily cut out foods you love. So it's a lot easier psychologically to tell yourself, I'm not going to eat this now, but I can eat it later, versus telling yourself, I can never eat this. And there's tremendous benefits to intermittent fasting, not only with weight loss, but it can improve your metabolic health, it can prevent disease. There's studies that I've footnoted in my book where diseases can actually be reversed with intermittent fasting. And the benefits are tremendous, and I encourage everyone to read chapter 5. Nothing else, read chapter 5 in my book. It blew me away while I was writing it and researching it. And it's not a new thing. Fasting's been going on for centuries. It's mentioned in the Bible. Even Plato's been quoted to say, I fast for greater physical and mental efficiency. So So how does it work? It helps your body burn fat more efficiently. It balances your hormones. It lowers insulin levels. And it helps prevent visceral fat around the belly. Visceral fat is fat that's here. It's very unhealthy because it crushes your organs, and it can lead to fatty liver disease, and that can cascade into a whole host of other chronic conditions, including even autoimmune disease. So, in the interest of time, I'm just going to keep moving. So, if you practice intermittent fasting between your Christmas parties, it's okay to overindulge. You can have these patterns of fasting and feast days. So actually, it works to your metabolism's advantage if you do have these waves of fasting and then feast days. Because that way your body doesn't freak out and say, oh no, I'm starving. I think I'm going to hold on to every calorie. Once your body realizes, no, some days I'll have less, but other days I have more than I need, your body levels out, and it's so brilliantly designed that it knows what to do. And as a matter of fact, it's kind of rooted in how we evolved as humans, because the hunter and gatherer days, they didn't have buffets every day. They didn't have Las Vegas to go to. There were periods of time where they were only eating berries, and then they were having feast days when they would have a good catch during hunting season. So it kind of makes intuitive sense. It keeps your metabolism flexible, and it makes weight loss sustainable. And again, you can have a healthy lifestyle without feeling like you're depriving yourself. So some of the best tips to avoid holiday gain is my #1 choice is intermittent fasting. It's kind of like you follow the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time you eat perfectly, 20% you give yourself that flexibility to go out with your friends, eat, party, overindulge, but it's okay because it's only 20%. You can eat more fiber, limit or avoid altogether simple and refined carbohydrates, which I'll explain what they are. A good tip is have an apple before you go to the party. There's fiber in that apple. It'll fill you up. You won't be starving if you go to the party, and you're less likely to overindulge. Do not overindulge 2 days in a row, and on your feast days, limit your alcohol. And I'll explain why, because alcohol is a surefire way of sabotaging yourself into gaining weight more than you can imagine. Drink plenty of water. Of course, we all know it's good for us, but it helps flush out toxins. And detox your liver. You'd be surprised how your liver plays a role in losing weight. And limit your toxic load. So, a little saying.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, is the drinking a lot of water what detoxes your liver?
It helps flush out. It gives you hydrated. You know it's great for the skin, but you also tend to feel more full when you're drinking water. And then the big tip of the day, if nothing else, walk out with this saying in your head: protein and fiber with every meal makes losing weight no big deal. So, key thing, #1, avoid processed food and excess sugar. Additives, preservatives, and sugar in processed foods negatively impact your health. It causes inflammation, digestive dysfunction, and the sugar cravings can actually create excessive hunger because these foods, these processed foods, have zero nutrition. And when your cells are not receiving nutrition, they're sending signals to the brain, screaming to the brain, feed me, I'm not getting what I need. So, your cells are telling your brain, I'm hungry, your brain wants to eat. If you were to eat more nutritious food, you wouldn't constantly feel hunger. But the garbage that is so readily available in our grocery stores, they don't feed you, they don't nourish you. And that is one way where people overeat. Did you have a question?
Yeah, well, I was saying what you're saying, when you do eat good greens, good food after eating all that crap, your body will actually force you to eat more of it. I don't know if anyone has ever experienced how your brain kicks in. It just all of a sudden says, oh my God, that's so good for me. More, more. And you can't stop it. You better keep going. So where you get the sugar cravings, you will get the green and healthy fiber cravings if you give it the chance to do it.
Yeah, that good point. Thank you for that. So these are the top 10 offenders, what we have in processed food. Gluten. Whether you're sensitive to it or not, it's not good for anybody. It can lead to autoimmune diseases, including arthritis. Sugar is synonymous to the devil. Sugar is a cancer feeder. If you have sugar, if you have cancer and the doctors want to see if it's gone, they're going to give you a PET scan. They put sugar in the PET scan. That's what lights up in the exam, in the PET scan. It lights up where cells are active. They're eating the sugar. Sugar is a cancer feeder. Refined carbohydrates, whatever it's packaged, the flours, whatever is man-made, ready. If you took the time to read that one paragraph, usually it's at least a paragraph of ingredients. That's a sure sign that you should just put it back and not eat it, because it's refined carbohydrates. Conventionally raised meat and dairy. I'm not against eating meat. I think it's borderline dangerous to be a strict vegetarian. But if you're going to eat meat, it should be organic. It should be grass-fed beef. It should be the meats that eat what God designed them to eat. The conventional, they give them soy. They give them corn that's been sprayed with glyphosate, a cancer causer. And don't eat farm-raised fish. They're filthy. Eat only wild-caught fish. Besides, between the conventional and the organic and the wild, the foods that are in their natural state are much more nutritious than the conventional. Processed conventional meats like bologna and spam, that's mystery meat. You know, if you want a turkey sandwich, just roast the turkey and slice it up, it'll last a week. Now, donuts, I don't even classify it as food. Donuts and all this artificial stuff, it's all color and it's all sugar. If you want something sweet, make something at home. At least you have more control over the ingredients. And these highly processed vegetable and seed oils, most people aren't aware. It's these type of oils that are killing people. And not all fats the same, and I'll go into that. But these processed oils, like corn oil, canola oil, rapeseed oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, all these vegetable oils actually clog your arteries. They're built to create a long shelf life in the grocery stores, but they will shorten your shelf life on this planet. And artificial sweeteners like aspartame,
Splenda,
yeah, those are actually neuroexcitotoxins. They actually cause neurons in the brain to die. They get hyperexcited, hyperactive to the point of death. And with some people, when they have those sweeteners, they get migraines. So I don't even know why these products are on the market. It's up to us to educate ourselves and be proactive and be our own advocates and discerning. And perhaps maybe the more people are educated, their dollars will be spent elsewhere, and maybe there could be a food revolution. And of course, the SAD diet, the standard American diet. This is what our kids grow up on, and then they wonder why they have behavioral issues. This, to me, is a representation of cancer. And the more people stay away from it, the more they're going to realize how their health will improve and their taste buds will actually change. Because a lot of these processed foods have so many chemicals in it that they actually interfere with the taste buds on your tongue. So to the point where your receptors on your tongue only respond and taste to salt and sugar. So if you're eating a lot of this day in and day out, and then you try to eat an apple, the apple's going to taste like cardboard. You don't understand the subtle flavors in food when your tongue has been deadened by these chemicals. And God only knows what else is in there. And believe it or not, grains are not good for you. I don't care if it's brown rice or white rice, I eat neither. And that could be another 2-hour discussion, but if you're really curious why I'm so against grains and why I don't eat them, I recommend you take a picture and read these 2 books by Dr. David Perlmutter and Peter Osborne. Both of these doctors have reversed their patients' autoimmune diseases by getting them off the grains. It's just phenomenal how damaging they can be. And let's not forget about alcohol. So, of course, overconsumption of alcohol can kill the beneficial bacteria that reside in your gut. They can have dysbiosis. The imbalance results in inflammation and organ dysfunction, especially in your brain and your liver. Again, another connection with your liver and weight loss that I will get into. And it actually contributes to depression and anxiety and makes stress harder to deal with. So if you're having a bad day and you think you need a drink to take that edge off, you're actually creating a worse situation for yourself. And most people don't know, like wine, for example, it has up to 67 preservatives. And they don't have to list it. It's completely legal to not list it on the label. They only list the sulfites because they know some people are allergic to them. And they put sugar in wine to manipulate the flavor. So are you drinking fermented grape juice or are you drinking fermented soda, grape soda? So, I don't know, a tip is you might want to look into European wines because I know that in the United States there are chemicals that we put in our food that the European Union and other countries have actually banned. So if you want maybe a cleaner source of wine, consider European or maybe, I don't know if Argentinian wines put as much sugar, but I know I can taste the difference when I drink European wines versus American wines. And of course, alcohol leads to other conditions like sinus infection, anxiety, arthritis, heartburn, insomnia, headaches, hot flashes, indigestion, just to name a few. But here's how alcohol can sneak into sabotaging your weight loss. It will make you gain weight. Aside from the sugar, when you drink alcohol, your body will metabolize the alcohol first and then just store the calories from food in your body for another day. So when I said don't drink a lot of alcohol on your feast days, you're going to metabolize the alcohol and all the rich foods are going to go straight to, if you're a woman, to your hips, or if you're a guy, you're going to look like that alcohol guy that picture
the beer belly.
So yeah, alcohol really works against you. So best practices is just be moderate about it. If nothing else, I mean, you can get into legal trouble, but if nothing else, for the sake of vanity, limit alcohol if you need a better reason. And now I'm going to talk about fats, because fat has been wrongfully vilified since the 1960s. There are good fats that will save your life, and then there are bad fats that will send you to an early grave. The good fats have high ratios of omega-3, and your brain needs that. Your body needs omega-3 because it'll lower inflammation, it protects your brain. Your brain is actually made out of fat and it needs that fuel source. And the good fats are comprised of olive oil, avocado oil, grass-fed butter. Butter is healthy. I don't care how long it's been vilified. You can have clarified butter, which is ghee. Coconuts are amazing. Coconut oil, MTC oil, which is a derivative of coconut. Almonds, cocoa butter, macadamia nuts, walnuts, all these great nuts, pistachios that we have, they are loaded with good fats, and you can eat them every day. And there is a world-renowned heart surgeon, his name is Dr. Stephen Gundry. I saw him in an interview, and he said that food should be an excuse to eat olive oil. He prescribes olive oil to his patients. So if a doctor tells you don't eat olive oil, consider changing doctors, because that's borderline malpractice. So the key difference of how the good fats help your health and how the bad fats kill you, the good fats will dilate your arteries, make your blood flow smoothly, and promote arterial health. The bad fats will do the exact opposite. They will constrict your arteries, make your blood sticky, and diminishes arterial health. And on the opposite spectrum, if you want to cool inflammation and put yourself for a healthy track in the year 2022, eat this every day, or find a way to throw some of this into your daily meal. Mama said eat your vegetables. Maybe she didn't know how to explain why you should eat the vegetables, but all these colors, all these pigments, they have their own unique antioxidants, and they offer unique benefits to the body. I know that the reds are anti-aging. Anything orange and yellow supercharges your immune system. The dark colors, like the berries and the eggplants, they're loaded with antioxidants. Anything green tends to detoxify. Did you have a question?
No, I was going to say the berries are also good for like inflammation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, a great way to sneak it in, if you don't like eating, you can juice it.
Yep.
And you can hide the flavors by blending with fruits and vegetables. Again, fatty fish and olive oil, coconuts, avocados and eggs, they're perfect food. And ginger and spices. That's God's medicine cabinet that He gave it to us. It's even mentioned in the Bible that we are to eat these freely. Ginger and turmeric, not only are they anti-inflammatory, ginger, turmeric, and garlic are antiviral, antiparasitic, antibacterial, and they lower inflammation. So you'll never go wrong eating these foods, and of course nuts and seeds, because they have good fat.
Tina, how do you feel about I see a lot of times, because turmeric's a little hard to consume in quantity, but I see they have like capsules.
Right, as long as it comes from a good, reputable.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah.
Anything that's put in your mouth is going to be medically dealt with before it goes into that capsule, which means all the good nutrition is gone. So be very careful, just like in skincare, like in everything else. Turmeric, the easiest way to do it, get the turmeric root from Publix, peel it, chop it, stick it in your smoothie. You'll never freaking know it's there. You'll have a little spice to your smoothie, but that's it.
And an important thing.
That sounds great.
It's fabulous. I do it every morning.
Turmeric, always use black pepper,
Yeah.
because black pepper will help you absorb it. And it's amazing how some foods have synergetic relationships, just like honey and cinnamon should always go together.
And you know what honey is in God's world. So I don't know if anybody knows this bit of trivia, as I'm sure Dina does. Honey is the only material made by anything on this planet that bacteria cannot penetrate.
Right.
If you put it over an open wound, it will never get infected.
And the ancient Egyptians figured that out. They would bring jars, vials of honey in battle. Because you put honey on a wound, you'll never get infected.
And if you sweeten anything, it should be with raw, natural honey. So put it in your smoothie to offset the turmeric and the pepper. There you go.
And if you put cinnamon on the honey, it makes it even more powerful effect. Like it becomes a stronger antiviral, antiparasitic, antibacterial.
Bacterial.
So it's funny how you get two ingredients that supercharge each other. First, so to remember, honey and cinnamon, besides they taste great together. And
super food.
Turmeric and black pepper. And incidentally, if people have seasonal allergies, you definitely should seek out local, raw, unprocessed honey, because it'll help you with the seasonal allergies.
Actually, eating a diet that's solely produced in Florida, because you live in Florida,
Yeah.
will help you with your seasonal allergies. We've
Yeah.
gotten away from that in our world. I remember when we were younger, oranges were seasonal, things like that.
Yeah.
Living in Florida, we should have a high citric vitamin C diet based in fish and green. And you won't really have mosquito problems or anything else.
That is so true. You need to eat in your season.
Right.
And the soils in Florida will provide us what we need to live here
Here.
originally.
Oh.
So yeah, in the ancient times, they didn't have Publix to bring food from Samaria to...
Or rhubarb from England.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you wondered in 2022, you really want to bulletproof your health, and you want to live your life without fear of the latest craze of a pandemic or a plandemic or whatever you want to call it. You eat like this, you have nothing to worry about. Even if it's 50% of your plate, fruits, vegetables, and legumes, and the other 50 or 25 good clean meats, good sources of fat, you'll be running on all 20 cylinders. Your body will have the energy it needs. Your carbohydrates should ideally come only from fruits and vegetables, and none of the other. Is there an Italian person here?
No.
I might be committing blasphemy, but I'm a little bit anti-pasta. But if you're going to eat pasta, eat it sparingly, or at least put a whole bunch of fiber on your plate along with the pasta.
Well, if you're making your own pasta, it's very different than
Yeah, it is. It is.
than buying the freaking box pasta from Walmart. That'll kill you.
So for heart issues, remember olive oil, olives, flax seeds, almonds, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, avocados, walnuts, sunflower seeds, salmon, Brazil nuts especially for women because they help prevent breast cancer. And Brazil nuts are high in selenium, which is very good and nourishing for your thyroid, and women in the middle age tend to have thyroid issues. It's usually a zinc, selenium, and iodine deficiency. So make it a habit of eating good fats. And of course, juicing is a great way to get a big consumption, to get your daily intake. But you get micronutrients and you replenish enzymes. So when you're a baby, you're born with your own bank account of enzymes throughout life. Your body can't create enzymes. So as you get older, you're depleting what you were given, and you can deteriorate quickly as you age. But if you replenish your enzymes from raw fruits and vegetables, you're digesting easier, it's less of a tax burden on your bank account, your enzyme bank account. So it's a great way to retard aging. And I talk about that again in my book. I forgot which chapter, but it's again in the book. And the liver. Why are we talking about liver and weight loss? Because the liver produces bile and breaks down the fats. If your liver is sluggish and you're not producing enough bile, you're not going to be breaking down the fats. And it'll get sluggish if you're toxic, which is very easy to do considering everything's filtered through your liver. So if you find yourself doing everything perfect, you're eating a clean diet, you're exercising, and you're getting nowhere, that's a clear indication that it's time to look at your liver and see what you can do to detoxify it. You can actually gently detoxify your liver every day just by incorporating these foods either in a smoothie or in your diet. Milk thistle, it's been known for years that it offers liver support. Spirulina, mint, celery, green apples, bitter melon, lemon, cucumber, carrots, spirulina, cilantro, spinach, kale, dandelions, and beets are all great ways of keeping your liver
Is that
healthy.
celery at the bottom?
Huh?
Is that celery at the bottom?
Yes.
So yeah, the bottom is celery.
So in my morning smoothie, there's 6 of those